Hello, how is everyone? It's been a while. Uni work has killed me off. World Cup, no football to talk about really, apart from the World Cup, but it's not what I do. Yeah, it's been busy. But we're here now, and I hope everyone is good. Let me know if you are. Let me know how you've been. It's been a while, but I've got a few in me these holidays until I go back do more work. But until then, let's get on with it. Yeah. So there was the clips going around, wasn't there, about all the goals we conceded at the back post, the free man in the box. That's been going around a lot, and it's good. It's good, and it is alarming when you look at it. But this is an insight into what I do. So that is good. It's good having that, but we have to apply context to it. Why did that happen? People will just say it's because of the system. Okay, explain how it's because of the system, right? People will say it's because of the players. Okay, explain how it's because of the players. That's where I come in, I think. Maybe not to the level of a Premier League at all, but I'll do my best. And I'm going to show some clips from the game, just screenshots, nothing more fancy. I'll put some lines on it of how the structure should have been and how we should have set up and how that happened to give some clarity. So people don't just go out shouting at Jesse Marsh saying it's all his fault, or the players, it's all their fault. There's context to everything, and showing the clip a second or two before the goal is not context. We need to see what happened before that in the build-up, which made that action happen. And also, I'm not going to go through every game. I'm going to go through the Monaco game and what happened there, so let's get into it. Okay, so the first goal, right. This is a few seconds before the first goal. This is how the move started and how we didn't deal with it. This guy's got it here. This is their centre-back, I believe. You can see him on the ball, right. Initially, what can you tell from this picture? This is what I can see. Every man is looking at the ball watching. You can see these guys here, out wide with all the space in the world. This is the source of the problem. This is where it begins. This is where we're not identifying what is out there. Pascal has to be more side on as a fullback. When you're playing left back, if your winger is not beside you watching that overload there, you have to be more side on, reacting to this quicker and waiting for this to happen quicker, right? Likewise, tell your fullback, tell your winger to get him behind so you can tuck in and cut out any lines that come through here, right? This is how you rectify this straight away. You either tell Neonto to get back, or you have to be side on to it to identify where he's running and where he's going to be. That's the early indication. So what happened then? The switch came in, the ball went out to this guy, we cross it in the box, the shape here is fine. Okay, we're packing the area, 4v1 there, fine, that is good. He heads it in. Ailing then heads the ball out from this position, and this is where the issue lies. Find it, so it goes out here, it ends up to Kamara, who heads it down to this guy, the right back. And this is the source of it. This is the issue here, right? Initially, so what you want here is them to play out wide, and the shape, as you look at it, looks alright. There's not really any options in here. We've packed out the midfield. There's no real options at all. But this, for me, is not great positioning. So what happens is this guy gets it, and gives it to the winger in this position. Now, the reaction from Pascal is he gets too tight to his man. Instead of jockeying him and showing him wide down the line, he shows him inside, which creates an overload because Robin Koch comes right over, and it creates an overload in here, in this position. And let me show you what I mean by that, if I can find it right. So he got beat. This is Pascal here, right? This is Strauch. He's gone all the way up. And the problem is, once he gets beat, Rocker has to engage quicker. Rocker sort of sits there, screens. But what you have to do in this position is communication. Robin has to be further in. He's been committed too far with Pascal. Nyonto is not, again, looking at his man, he's ball watching. Koch has to be 2 or 3 steps inwards. Nyonto then has to follow in behind Robin Koch to cut out any ball through. We don't do that. It's simple defending. It's nothing to do necessarily with the system. If you're being beat too easily here, Rocker has to engage the line in which to show them out here. Your position there, Nyonto, has to then not be that. Look, what's he doing there? He has no idea where his man is. This is your man, he's right next to you. You have to be deeper. Look, I get it. We're talking about the press. Just Max likes the press, but not this press. The press comes from Rocker, and then retrieving the ball, Nyonto and Koch are in a position then. They're in a better position on the field. Koch should be here. Nyonto should be here to then snuff out any danger if he doesn't win it. There's no way to play through. In the box, it's all right. Aylin's watching his man. Rasmus is watching his man. The problem is Greenwood, who lets 17 go and does not react one bit to him. So they're the issues for me. You get beat too easily, Pascal. Beats too easily. The second he gets beaten, it either has to be a quicker reaction from Nyonto and Rocker, or Rocker has to engage, because there's an overload here. We have 3v2. You can engage. Robin Koch then has to sit deeper, and Nyonto has to then sit further out wide. Koch's in two minds. He's identified that Nyonto is not tracking his man, so he doesn't know whether to go to this guy or go out. Right? Koch doesn't know whether to go out here or go out there. So he's left in two minds, and then he gets beaten by the ball. Which leads to this monstrosity. Where's Nyonto? He's not even on the picture. He's not tracked. Nyonto hasn't tracked at all. Greenwood has also not tracked your man. Talk about systems all you like. Simple positioning and tracking your man is the problem in this goal for me. Simple stuff. The second goal is a lot more different and better to analyse. This one is terrible to analyse because it's so compact that it's little movements that you can identify here. Greenwood has to track his man. You saw it on the previous clip. Greenwood is not close enough and he's still not reacted to it. It's nothing to do with the system. You follow your man there. This area had to be better by Rocker, had to be better by Koch and Nyonto. The communication and the structure had to be better. Then again, it's a new team, it's a new system, it's a new formation. This has to be rectified on the training ground, which I believe it will. Let's get on to the second goal. Sorry, before we get on to the second goal, that's my point. It has to be cut off at source. The source was my first, I said, a long time ago. This is the source. Right, this is it. This is where you have to rectify these mistakes already. There has to be a conversation here between these two. That could be a 2v1. Nyonto, just sit behind me. Track that man. If he comes in, tell me. Okay? That's where it's got to be done early. Then in this position, he gets beat too easily, and there's no tracking, there's no covering, because Nyonto is there doing the press, that's fine. But then rectifying that, it is the same fullback. He has to follow him round for that overlapping run. He doesn't do that. This is the progression. This is what we need to sell. Let's get on to the second goal. Right. The second goal. Oof, this is tough. This is tough, but this is the point, guys. This is a friendly. This is a time to find out these things and work on them. It's all right doing it at training, but until a game scenario, you can't really fully work on them. You have to learn through defeats. And let me tell you, working in a football club or uni, whatever, in a good environment, a high performance environment, you learn more when you lose. You learn through defeats, and that's why it's so often you see a team lose, and then after they've lost to the best team, that's when they play best. And this is a system we've tried, this is a new scenario we've identified, and they'll be working on it all week at training to deal with it. Right, let's get into it. So this second, it's come from this centre-back. It's passed it here. Now, as you can see, it's quite clearly a 4-3-3 at this point, and they're the 6. Problem with these guys here, once these two have engaged, this guy is redundant. He can't really affect the game. Because if it goes into him, Forshaw is on him, right? So the only real pass is to stop and come back, or it's out there. And these two have done a little switcheroo. He's gone. They planned this. He's gone, and he's come short to play that ball in behind. The position here, again, I don't want to out Greenwood. He's a young lad, you know, he's learning the system, whatever. But for me, this is my opinion. It doesn't mean it's right at all. Jesse Marsh would probably see this and say, what are you talking about? I'm trying to put context to what's going on social media. Look, that pass goes out there, fine. However, I'd say Sam Greenwood needs to be here. A bit further back. He's got... Forshaw's fine with him. That's 1v1. That'll be 1v1 in there. 1v1. 1v1. Okay. In this, he's in no man's land here. He's not pressing anyone. There's no one out here. He's not affecting anything. It's going to be too late to cut that off. His starting position has to be here. And what he has to do is, when he plays the ball, he then engages from here. Right? He engages from here, from deeper. He's too far up for me. And this is 4-3-3, so... Was it? Or is it? I don't know. I can't remember what we're playing at this point. But the point is, his position there isn't good. Even if he is out wide, it's not a good position. You have to start further back. You have to identify where the areas are. And he has to be a little deeper, start his run. When he kicks that ball, then that's the trigger, right? Anticipate from further back. You can scan and you can see the game. This is behind him. He's not identified this threat again. And it's identifying threats. If he's a few yards back, second that ball goes into there, he can make it up by coming in here, not into here. It's little things like that, little adjustments into position, your starting position. And this is what you get with a new team, a new system, to these players. I'm just telling you what my job is. This is what I do. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I need to figure out in football matches. Not just say, oh, this system isn't going to work, sack it off. No, I've got to identify the problem. How did that happen? How do you resolve it? So that's how it happened. And to me, you resolve that by starting position. If you're not engaging in this, and that's fine. Maybe Forshaw's got to tell him to drop 5. When the ball's off here, tell him to drop 5. Just drop 5. He's in there. That's fine. Be here. Start here. The run is there. Right? Moving on. So as you can see now, when the ball is retrieved by this guy, Greenwood is behind him because his starting position is too high up and he's got to make up for it. And he can't make up for it. This guy's quick. He can't get there. This left Rasmus in two minds, as you can see. Do I engage or do I sit? This has been made because of the winger. The winger and fullback combination is vital. You have to be on the same wavelength. Look, I get it, not a winger. Whatever. The guy in front of him whose man it is, right? That's his man. Right. He has to start in position, has done this for me. Now he doesn't have a clue what to do. Rasmus has no idea whether it's, am I engaging? Is Luke Ayling behind me? Luke Ayling, for me, has to be a little closer. He's got to anticipate that early. Forget trying to play offside. Anticipate that early and go there. Right, that's the ball. It's clear that is the ball. Right, these recovering in here, potentially, but you want it in here, you don't want it down there. Because of men outlook. It'll be 4v1. He tucks in, it's 4v1. Rasmus he doesn't know what to do here. It's not really his fault. Because the starting position of Sam Greenwood is already behind him. It's a 2v1. Ayling has to be quicker across. It has to be just little things in football. It has to be 2 or 3 steps that way. 2 or 3 steps, that's it. And the ball is going down there. You've got to anticipate it's going to be quicker than you. You've got to get there. Yeah, so that's what's happened there. And then leading on to it, this is the situation we're in now. He plays the ball down. Rasmus is out the game. Luke Ayling hasn't got there, which has left a 2v2 in here. This communication, again, look, any decent defensive team that understands what they need to do, understands their role, that is 1v1 every day of the week. You have to be aware, go back here, Llorente has to be aware in this position where the men are, where the dangers are, right? Obviously, we can't see behind Pascal, but there's a guy behind Pascal, right? You must see it. ball watching. You have to be scanning. I didn't see if he was scanning, but you have to be scanning where your winger is at all times. If he does that, and if he has done that, he's got to stick to the winger, and it leaves it 1v1. He's on the winger. A few steps out here, Llorente's dropped in this position. He has to be aware. Again, it's all about being aware of where the guy is. Rocker has got to make up this one. That's his problem. They have to go 1v1 in there. It's all about recovery. And you have to understand where your man is, where your man's going to be, where the run is. You have to understand you are 1v1 in there. Luke Ayling's gone out, which has left them 1v1. This all started, remember, context to these clips that were going through social media. This started because of this, in my opinion. He starts a bit further back, in line with Rocker. I don't think there's a problem. I think he's across there, and that deals with it. That slows it down for me. That has led to that, which then led to that, which then led to that. Goal. We know what happens, right? This is context. It's easy to blame the system and look at things and say, well, this happened because of this. But at the end of the day, this is where problems arise. Yes, if you get this system wrong and you're not 100%, this will happen. You will get exposed. But you have to cut all it out at source. As we saw with the first goal, as we saw with this goal, it has to be cut out here. Even past that, Ayling has to get across quicker. Here, now, they have to identify, communicate and speak. Strauch tells him, drop. Behind you. Mark the guy on your right. Guy on your right. Llorente, guy on your right. He looks. He's sitting in front of him. He's running in front of him. He drops onto him. It's stuff you have to learn as a football player. It's simple stuff. But let's talk about source. That's where it's come from. Okay, this position, for me anyway, isn't good. This Jesse might, might think the opposite. But this is just what I've observed. Yeah. Third goal is set piece, not marking your man. Second ball, not quick enough. Fourth goal, let's go on to it. Right. Fourth goal, and this one's painful. Alright, so here's where it starts. Willie Gnonto, let's look at Willie Gnonto. Alright. So the ball's on this side, right? The question is, you see on the bottom here, this guy down here, look, this little man down here. This little guy. See him? Bottom here? At this point, that is alright. But again, for me, it's about identifying where the man is. If you think for 1 second that Jesse wants this guy to be in this much space, you're wrong. When you defend narrow, this is fine. Force them out there. Now his reaction has to be this. Drop in here behind the midfield. Okay? So if the ball does go down this line, he is then in prime position to, if this guy does go up, react. But he ball watches too long in this point, doesn't he, Onto? Here's a few seconds later, still ball watching. He has to, by now, has to be here. He has to be making his way here, and he's not. He's looking at the ball, and he's not looking at this. Is Pascal screaming to him? Probably. He should be. If he isn't, he should be. 100%. This now is where that goal comes through. Okay? Some mistakes in this. Firstly of all, when we played this formation, the three here, what we had with Willie was an out-and-out winger. Who's the other winger in there? There isn't one. So naturally that brought unbalance, which is why Erasmus was caught off guard, because he was often a lot more further up than where he should have been. Hesitation as well. On this side, the exposure came because Willie Gnonto was too far up and Pascal is too narrow. And when Willie doesn't get back, that narrow shows, right? Whether that's Pascal needs to play a bit wider or Willie Gnonto needs to get back in. Mine is Willie Gnonto needs to get back in here. If you're defending narrow, you have to defend. He's not defending. He's not. Who's he defending here? No one. At this point, he has to identify these guys are going this way. They're cloaking this area. Any winger has to come in there, defend narrow, get in between the defence, anything that comes in here. If it's a ball across, cut it out. You're in prime position to get back. He's not. From here to here. He's not really moved. He has to be here at this point to mark this person. We keep moving. A second later. Not really moved. Has to be, you know, he has to be here. He has to be here. And what else I want to identify here as well is Ayling's position. I don't understand. He's man marked and followed number 44, which I highly doubt. We don't play a man marking system. I highly doubt he was told to do that, which has left this big hole in behind, which you can't see. He has left this position. All he needs to do is shout someone. Forshaw, Rocker, shout him. Let him know. Pass him on. You have to pass him on. 2 mistakes already. Leonto has to be further back. After that reaction there, has to then bust a gut to get hit. He's probably tired. I don't know. He shouldn't be in the 54th minute. Not an excuse. Ball watching. Ayling should not be there. I get it, he wants to snuff out this danger, but this is for the midfielders to be tight on. Rocker is alert of that. He has to go to him. Forshaw has to drop onto that or cut it out so it doesn't get to that in the first place, right? Again, this has left Rasmus in no man's land as to, I think he thinks either he has to cut this out or he thinks someone is behind him to cover him if he cuts it out, right? Whereas here, I actually agree, Ayling should be behind Rasmus, which is his position. Rasmus should be engaging this if they are not. So then any ball over the top is snuffed out by Ayling, and it doesn't leave the defence exposed. These are the issues. This one, big issue, he's got to be in here. And this position. You've got to identify he's there and drop. That is terrible. And if you think for 1 minute, and keep repeating this is down to the coach. Tell them to do this. It isn't. The players or the coach have to work together better to rectify these mistakes. They have to. I'm not excusing what's going on here. This is not good. But I'm telling you how to rectify it and where it comes from. It doesn't come from, oh, it's a system, we want that to happen. We do not want that to happen. We have to rectify what's happening. It's happening because of individual mistakes. Ronaldo has to be further back. He's not been, I promise you, he's not been told to stay up there. That makes no sense. He's been told to be in between here, further back, to cut out anything here where this guy is, you can just see. He's got to be there. He should not be following him. Pass him on. He should not be there. He's got to be deeper. Next bit. Ball comes over the top. Rasmus almost reacts to it. Ayling is there. What's the point? There's no point in that. This is where he should have been, right here. Headed, out, cleared, done. We're ready for a counter. But it didn't happen. He's got to do better with the clearance as well. He swipes the ball and misses it. It's simple stuff. And now you're already seeing the issue. If Nonto had tracked, he'd be right here. Not a problem. Pascal concentrates on him. He gets in here. Simple stuff. It's simple stuff. It's not even difficult. It's not even hard football. And I'm sorry, right? These are exploiting us, not the system for me. The system works if the players do it properly, and they're not at this point doing it properly, right? A lot of them are. Good position from Pascal. Llorente's fine there. You know, it's not his job to anticipate that to happen. He has to anticipate it earlier. He shouldn't be up here in this position. What use is he here? That's our defender. What use is he there? You had to pass him on earlier. Rasmus shouldn't be there. You could even argue Llorente stepped up too early. Because he did. He stepped up and tried to play offside. Individual errors. Yeah. And from this position, there is no way. It's too easy for him to cut. He takes 1-2 touches, cuts inside of everyone, and gives it here. Where's Nyonto? At this point, he has to be here. This is what? 4 seconds? To get from there to there? Not difficult for him. He could do that in 2. You know, it's simple stuff, and people can sit and blame the system. That's fine. People don't like the manager. People don't like the system. They never will. They never will like it. They'll say it's rubbish. They'll say it's terrible to watch, whatever. Don't care. I'm telling you where the problem started and giving context to these clips that are going around about our horrific defending. I'm not saying it isn't. It is horrific. I'm saying why it's horrific and how it started. And this is, in my opinion, what it started from. Just this position here, yeah. Like, he gets inside too easily. Look at that now. You should not be there, Aylin. What are you doing? Yeah, ball through. Nyonto is there. That ain't good enough. Look where the entire midfield is, right? Who were level with him. Not good enough for me. That's not good enough. No, has to be deeper. And if he is deeper, 5 or 6 yards, he's identified that. And it's not a 2v1, it's a 2v2. Arguably a 3v2 because he's coming in. And then he won't have time to square it and give it to Mbola because there will not be that option. He'll have a guy in front of him and 2 guys in front of him. You can't square it. Look, I'm just here to provide information of what I would do if we're working in our team. We've identified problems like this. What is spare man? And this is how you deal with it. You've got to look at source. It's all right looking at this and going, look at that. That's shocking. Look at the system. No. This is it. This is the problem. You should not be there. Why he's not been told to man mark him, has he? So why is he doing it? Leave him. Pass him on. Sit in your position. I know why he's been doing it, but people won't like the answer why. It's stuff that's in your head from previous. Happens to every player in the world. Not just to us, at every club. Stuff that's been ingrained for years stays there, and it's hard to get rid of. That's what's happened to Ayling. You should be back there, Nyonto. He should be on his way. He should not be there. He should be deeper. Llorente shouldn't be so high up. Maybe should be further across, because then that's 1v1 in there. Just sit and relax. Something to listen to on Christmas, I guess. If you didn't, whenever, whatever. I'll do some other goals, whatever. I'll do this. It's just explaining what I see from the game. You've got to be careful of... After this, however, people just say, oh, they dropped off it. They didn't. What we did was, after it, was we switched Nyonto onto the right so they were engaged higher up, because that was their threat side, their right, their left coming through to the right. The build-up play was from the left onto the right. So we identified that. We brought Firpo on to be more of an out-and-out left-back and sat Pascal in. Nyonto went onto the right to counteract that balance. So then he was higher up already, so they couldn't play down the left. And it worked a lot better. That's what happened after. I'm not going to go through everything because I'll be here for hours. This is what analysis is. Yeah, that's my opinion of what happened. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. This is what I do. This is just what I've seen. It's alright to sit and blame the coach and look at clips a second before the goal went in. The context of the clips, a lot of the time, will be we should have done better earlier in the move as a team, individuals as a team, to rectify that mistake happening. You know, that's the headline. Let's look through the book of what caused that. You know, you read at the back. It's reading the back page, isn't it? You've got to read the book to understand how the back page sounds, why it sounds like that, right? I'm waffling. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Bit of a different one. This is what I do. This is more of what I do. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Everyone have a outstanding Christmas. Hopefully everyone's happy. If you're not, you know, we all have down days. We all have good days. I've been there. It's been lonely, been horrible at Christmas. Believe me, I've had bad times, but yeah, everyone just look after yourselves and have a good one. Just relax. Everything's gonna be fine. We get to watch Leeds get battered against Man City. I'm joking. Yeah. Peace.